Okay, so in we have seen enough of normalization, right? Normalization. How do we normalize the table? We normalize by breaking the table into simpler units, right? So in that context, when we go for that is we are decomposing the table. Okay, so just let me share the slides. So decomposition is again an important part of RDBMS. Less than normalization, but it is important. So this decomposition is nothing but uh, decomposition, as the word suggests, it is nothing but breaking of a relation into two or more tables. Okay, so that is known as the decomposition. So in normalization, we go for breaking down, right? To normalize the tables, we break the table. So that is known as decomposition. So there are two properties of decomposition. First is the lossless decomposition. So in lossless decomposition, so as the name suggests, you're aware that when you decompose the table, no information will be lost. Okay, so that is known as the lossless. And next we have the dependency preservation. So what it does means dependency preservation. So we have seen the functional dependencies are there in normalization. So when we go for this decomposition, none of the functional dependencies will be lost from the original table. Okay, so all the thing is that when you decompose the table, the sub relation to sub relations, the sub relations will also will hold the functional dependency. Okay, so these are the two properties. Now moving to the types of decomposition. So there are two types of decomposition: lossless decomposition and lossy decomposition. So from the words, it may be very clear to you. Lossless decomposition, that is when you are decomposing the table, when you are breaking the table, some information is getting lost. And lossy means, lossless, no information is getting lost. Okay, but in lossy joint decomposition or lossy decomposition, what happens? Some of the informations are getting lost. So we will check each of these decomposition one by one. Okay, so this is lossless joint decomposition. So you see consider there is a relation R, that is a table R, which is decomposed into sub-relations R1, R2 to Rn. Okay, so when we go for normalization, suppose we are going for second normal form also, what we do, we break the table, right? The table is broken down, right? So if this decomposition is called lossless joint decomposition, when the join of the sub-relation in the same relation R that was decomposed. For example, what happens is that in normalization, we go for decomposition, that we decompose. We decompose into two relations or three relations. Now, after like we decompose the table, after we decompose the table, we can again join the table. Okay, we can again join the table. So after joining the table, if we get the same table again, like we before using the decomposition we have, that means that means no information is lost. That means it is lossless. Now let us just take an example, but before that, let me tell you that for lossless joint decomposition, we always have R1, the symbol R2, then Rn. Okay, so you will get similar the origin when you join all the tables sub relations. When you join the sub relations, you will get the same the original table. So can you tell me what the symbol is called? Can anyone tell me? Because we have studied this one. So it is known as natural join, right? So it is known as natural join. Okay. Now suppose let us see an example. Suppose this is our table. We have a relation where attributes are ABC. So you can see the values in the tuples are there like 1, 2, 1, 2, 5, 3, 3, 3, 3. So just check the values. Okay. Just wait. Yeah. Okay. Now, when we decompose the table, so when we decompose the table, that means we break the table. We can break in this manner, right? Suppose while normalizing the table, we have broken down into this one. So we have a table R1, okay, this R, A, B, C, that is this original table which had ABC as the attribute has been, for normalization, has been broken down into two tables. One table contains attribute A and B, and the second table contains attribute B and C. Now in decomposition, that is, we have these two tables, okay, we have broken down. This table has been broken down into this table, okay. Now for lossless decomposition, as you go check the criteria, we have to go for natural join. So natural join is nothing but if you remember from the relational algebra, for relational algebra, what we did for natural join, we'll just use Cartesian product, right? So let me tell you, suppose we have broken down. Now if we want to join these two tables, okay, that 1, 2, 2, 5, 3, 3, and we have 2, 1, 5, 3, 3, 3. So if we now like combine this two table or join this two table, so we will get the same table. We are getting the same table. You can do it yourself also. Okay, just wait, let me show you. So the table has been broken down into 1, 2, 2, 5, 3, 3 and 2, 1, 5, 3, 3, 3. Okay, so these are the two tables you have, right? Let me see if I can copy paste in the same area or not, then it will be benefit. Control C. I don't think it's happening. No, it's not happening, sorry. Okay. So how do you join this two table? You can see first tuple is there. If you join it, 1, 2, 2, 1. So you will get same relation only 1, 2, 2, 1. So since it is B only, so we can consider it as B. So it will take it B. So we will consider it as B also, because if we join it, if we go for natural join, we'll get something like this. Okay, let me show you. If we go for natural join, we'll get something like this: A, B, B, C. So we have seen, if we go for natural join, if you people remember, how do we do it? 1, 2, 2, 1. Right. But this B means the same thing. So we can write it one time. Right? So that is how. So ultimately we are getting the same table here, like same as the original table. That means it is lossless. No information is lost here. Please tell me if you are clear or not with this part, lossless decomposition.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Now, this lossless decomposition is also known as non-additive joint dependent decomposition. Okay, so it is either called lossless decomposition or it is called non-additive decomposition. So if in some question papers, like in competitive exam also, you are given that non-additive decomposition, please don't get confused. It means the lossless only. Okay. Now, this is because why it is called non-additive, because the resultant relation after joining the subrelation is same as the decomposed relation. So what happens is that why it is called non-additive, because see, after you join the decomposed table, so these are the two tables we have decomposed into, right? If we join these two tables, we are getting the original table. So that is why it is known as non-additive. No additional rows have been added. Okay. So no extraneous tuples appear after joining on the subrelation. So that is why it is known as non-additive. Now moving next to the lossy. So in the lossy join dependency, as the word suggests, some information will be lost when you join the two decomposed tables. Okay, so it is also possible. So before I make you give an example of this lossy join decomposition, let me explain you these points. So what happens? Consider there is a relation R which is decomposed into sub-relations R1, R2 to Rn. Now this decomposition is called lossy join decomposition when the join of the sub-relation does not result in the same relation. That means after you join the two, like in the previous case, after we join these two tables at AB and BC, we got the original table. But after like we join, if we don't get the original table, that means we are having lossy decomposition. So the natural join of the sub-relation is always found to have some extraneous tuples. So what happens? Sorry. So in what happens in lossy join decomposition, you will always get, after you join, you will get some extra tuples. So gaining extra tuples, you may have the idea that no information is lost, but we are gaining information. But it is not. We are getting the redundant data, the extra data that is not required. So that means it is lossy. That means some informations are being lost. So we'll just now check. So we have, for lossy join decomposition, we always have R1, R1, natural join R2 or natural join R3 to Rn, subset of R. It does not, that last one was in lossless it was equal to R, but here it is not equal to R. That means we are getting the like subset, but it is not a original table or original relation. So here also we have two tables. So we are having one table, same only like the previous one, ABC. So here also we are decomposing. So we are decomposing into ABC. So we are decomposing into A, C and B, C. Okay, so we are last time we are decomposing into A, B and B, C. But here we are decomposing into A, C and B, C. So if we like decompose, if you write the values, you will get something like that. Just check here. That means 1, 1, 2, 3 and 3, 3, and we'll get 2, 1, 5, 3, 3, 3. So these are the two tables we have. Okay, so this is AC and BC. Now if we join these two tables, now if we join this like AC and BC, what happens? How we'll go for, we'll go for natural join only. So what we will do, like 1, 1, 2, 1. So if you do this way, you will get something like this. Okay, so you will get values 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 5, 3, 2, 3, 3, 3, 5, 3, 3, 3, 3. So that means you are getting extra information, because what was your original table? Only 3 tuples it had. But here we are getting 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3 and 3, 5, 3. These 2 tuples are extra. Okay, that means your information, like we are getting redundant data, that means your information is lost here. Okay, so if you try it on your own, if you go for this natural join, okay, if you go for this natural join, you will get the same result too. Okay, don't worry, because we'll be solving, today we are just, I'm giving an overview of decomposition, but in the next class we'll also solve some problems in decompositions, lots of problems actually. Okay, so this is lossy. This is how we get. If we are getting no extra information, that means it is lossless. If we get extra tuples, that means it is lossy. Now this, you can see here, this relation is not same as the original relation and contains some extraneous tuples. Okay, so we conclude that decomposition is lossy joint decomposition. So then now this lossy joint decomposition is also known as careless decomposition. So in the last case, in the last one, we have seen that lossless is known as non-additive, but here it is known as careless decomposition. So this is because extraneous tuples get introduced in the natural join of the subrelation. So extraneous tuples make the identification of the original tuples difficult. So this was all about the overview for decomposition. Now tell me, anyone having problem? Please. Everyone clear? All 15 of you are clear about lossy and lossless decomposition? Or any part which is not clear? Yes, okay. I have 3 conditions to show you. Okay, let me just, I was just checking my copy. Okay, always remember one thing, I need to write it, the procedure, okay? For how do you know, like, for lossless decomposition, okay, lossless decomposition, always remember there are 3 criteria that need to be fulfilled. The first is that R1 union R2 equal to R. Okay, this is the first criteria, that for any lossless decomposition, when you union the two tables, the two decomposed tables, you should get the original table. Okay, next R1, how do I write the intersection now? So for now I'm writing in letters only, then later I'll check. Okay? I'll get some intersection R2 not, let me use a symbols, just wait, huh? So I need to go to formulas, symbols. This is not equal to, and get. Okay, so this symbol should not be here actually. This is control X, control V. Yeah. This intersection will be here. That is, you know the symbol, right? Too many symbols. I intersection one mathematical operators. Yes, intersection I got. Intersection, and I need one more phi. Brick phi is a big one. letters, symmetric errors, mathematical apparatus. Yeah, I got it. Okay, just wait, huh? Just let me put it. Control X. Okay. So the next condition is that R1 intersection R2 is not equal to 5. Okay, so that means uh, you should have some common attribute. You should have, when we break the table, it is required that we have a common attribute. Otherwise, obviously, it will be lossy. We don't have to check. If there is no common attribute, that will be lossy. So it should not be equal to pi. And the last one is R1 should be a candidate key. Okay, R1 should be a candidate key, or R2 should be a candidate key, or both. So if these three criteria is fulfilled, if these three criteria are fulfilled, that means your decomposition is lossless. Okay, so if three criteria are not fulfilled, that means it will be lossy. Okay. Now if I get an example, good example of okay. So we'll solve more examples. Just you have to remember this criteria. Okay, we'll just solve the questions in the next class, not in today's class, because we have one more examples left today to discuss. Okay, then we'll be discussing this type of questions on Monday. I'll be sharing the slide. Please go through it. Okay, so coming back to yesterday's question. How many of you solved? I got one answer yesterday. What about others? Do people try? Yes? Where is the question? Please wait. No answer. Didn't you people try the question? Yes? So this was a functional dependence. So this was a table, right? Tutumuni have tried and others. Sankalpita have tried. Prashant has tried. Kashyap has tried. You have tried. So what was the candidate key? Let me write the question again. You have to tell me the candidate keys, okay? Just write the candidate keys. A, B, C, D, D, H. What are the functional dependencies we had? A determines B, BC determines D, E determines C, and D determines A. So I have already found. So let me tell you. Okay, so whenever the candidate gets because Avinash has submitted me, so the mistake he had done, it was okay. The problem was okay, but the thing is that candidate key we have to write extra. Like we have to write in this manner. So first we have found out in yesterday's class only we had AEH and I think DEH. We had found out, right? So this is the candidate key. So we find the closure to check whether it can be determined by all the it can determine all the attributes or not. So you have to write it extra. Please don't write like this. This is not your candidate key. This is not your candidate key if you write it like this. Okay, this is just finding the closure of AEH. So you have to find in this way. Write it separately. Now tell me what was the other candidate key? Yes, what was the other candidate key you had? Yes, it is BEH. Right. Yes, it was BEH. Yeah, DEH already we found that, right? Right? Yes. So this was it. So 3 candidate keys we had. Now prime attributes. What was the prime attribute? What are the prime attributes? Please tell me.
A, B,
A.
D,
Mm-hmm.
E, H.
A. Mm-hmm.
A, B, D, E, H.
A, B, B, E, H, right? EH, right?
Hmm.
Non-prime? Non-prime?
C.
So everyone got the same thing, right?
Everyone got the same.
Yeah. Okay, now coming back to the question. So this is the candidate keys we are having. Now for checking, so for the highest normal form, we start with BCNF. So BCNF, before that, let me write the functional dependencies we have. So I guess these are the functional dependencies. Now B, C, and F. And F. So what is the criteria for to be the functional dependency to be in BCN?
Right hand side must be a candidate key.
Yes, right. Yes, right. Right hand side. Right hand side.
Uh, sorry, left hand side.
Yes. So tell me if any of this will be in BCNF or not.
No.
No.
Yes. So let me write it no. Yes. So let me write it no. Then if it is in not in BCNF, we'll go for checking the third NF. So what is the criteria? Right hand side.
LHS must be a candidate key.
Yes. And
Sorry, and RHS is a prime attribute.
yes.
And or super.
Yes.
Or super.
And it's not and it's all. Okay. Yeah.
Yes,
So,
ma'am. Or.
so this will be
Hmm.
it will be see right hand side is not a candidate key, but what about B? Is it a prime attribute?
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes,
that
ma'am.
means it will be
Yes. Yes.
what about this one?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
No. Yes.
2NF. What was the criteria? That there should not be partial dependency. So how do you check the partial dependency?
LHS must be a subset of candidate key.
Acha and
And I forgot.
and right hand side must be a non-prime attribute.
Oh, non-prime.
Right. So first
Hmm.
see if it is in third NF, so obviously we don't have to check because it is in already in 2NF.
Hmm.
Similar to this one also. Now check if there is any partial dependency or not. So whether it is a subset, there is partial dependency. If you see, this is a non-prime attribute, isn't it? C is a non-prime attribute. So that means E is a subset of candidate key. Yes, it is a subset of candidate key. And C must be a non-prime attribute. So obviously it is having partial dependency. So it will be no, it is not in third NF. And the last one is, so ultimately if it is not in 2 NF, it will be, the table is in 1 NF. So by default I told you the tables are in 1 NF, right? So the answer is 1 NF. Anyone not clear or not got the same answer? Did not get the same answer?
Yes, ma'am.
Clear,
Clear.
everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So this was all about today's class. Okay. So next class we'll just take up some sums on decomposition. Okay. Just wait now. Let me take the attendance. I'll be sharing the slide of BCNF, 4th NF, and all the slides, and this one also. Just wait. So thank you everyone. So you all can leave now.
Thank you, ma'am.